what's going on, everyone? Before we get into our conversation, I want to let you know this podcast is sponsored by BetRivers.com. BetRivers.com, the best place for all your sports gambling needs. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. You can also watch all of these episodes on the Field of 68 YouTube channel. Now, let's get into our conversation. What's going on, everyone? This is Eric Devendorf, your host of the SCORER'S Table podcast. And today we have on another Cuse legend, probably one of the most talented guys to ever come through the Cuse. He only spent 1 year, but 6'10", could shoot it, put it on the floor. He ended up leading the team in scoring as a freshman, the first freshman since Melo to do that. And it's a coincidence because they both went to the same high school. But I'm glad to have my guy on, Donté Greene. Appreciate you coming on, Tay.
Hey, what up, baby?
What's going on, man? So what's going on? Tell me, how's everything been? Big Three MVP?
Man, tried to get it this year. Of course, Joe Johnson is tough to knock off his throne. But yeah, man, just been doing the Big Three, still playing overseas and just spending time with the family.
So I want to start, back in Germany, because if a lot of people, if they don't know you, you were born in Germany, and you also spent time going to school in Japan as well. So you're well traveled. Kind of tell me about growing up overseas, and then how did you really start getting involved with the game?
I was blessed. My mom worked for the NSA, for the government. So I was born in Munich, Germany, on a army base, Bad Aibling army base down in Munich, and spent my first 4 years in Germany. And then from there, just traveling all over the world. From Japan, did 3 years in Japan, lived in South Korea, in Guam, spent some time in Hawaii. So it was definitely a blessing. My first 13 years, I was pretty much overseas.
But what did that do for you growing up, seeing the world, traveling, experiencing different cultures, meeting different people at such a young age, and then you come to Baltimore? How did you feel like you were different, or were you different from those other kids?
I was very different. Just experiencing different cultures. But, for me, I think it just helped me to adapt easy, to be honest. You put me in any situation, and I have the utmost belief in myself that I'm going to be able to thrive and to be successful. So just having that at an early age and learning different cultures really, helped me grow.
So were you growing up over there, on the Army base overseas, playing ball, or did it start over here in the States?
I played a little bit. Japan is where I really started to play a little bit, but I was mostly a baseball player. I played baseball even all the way through high school. I played baseball, so that was my first love. Basketball didn't come about seriously until I moved back to Baltimore.
So, all right. So you're in Japan. You pick up baseball. I mean, Japan big in baseball big in Japan.
Huge,
right?
Yeah, I mean, we played year round. Played in the snow. As long as the base team was putting us out there, because what's crazy is we had a base team, so we had a league on the base where we played with, of course, all the other American kids, but then you had a travel team, which is kind of like the base all-star team, and we went out and played against other Japanese teams in the area. So that's where the real competition came in, and Japan takes baseball seriously. It's like it's like basketball in the States. That's how they treat baseball. So, with that being over there, being able to play year round, it was fun for me.
So you were a part of a team that was it was like the base on the base, like the kids who were born on the base, or you were involved like on an AAU team where it was other Japanese kids as well?
Nah, so it was just all Americans on the base team, and we pretty much put together. I mean, you could call it like AAU, baseball AAU, except for all the teams we were playing against were Japanese. It might have been one or two teams that we played from other bases that put together kind of an all-star team, but most of the time we was just playing against all the Japanese teams in the area.
So you were over there, you said 13 years. In various countries. Did you end up picking up any different languages, and are you still able to speak it right now?
When I was younger, I could speak German a little bit. My nanny, when I was born, she was German. So of course, you know, I picked up the language from her. But by the time I got older, and especially moving back to Baltimore, it wasn't cool to be, you know, to come out and be sitting there trying to speak German or speak a little bit of Japanese. I knew, and people sitting there looking at me crazy, like, you know, who's this, who's this kid, you know? But just enough to get around, but nothing fluent.
Right. So, okay, you get back to the States, you're 13, you're back in Baltimore. That's when you really start hooping. But when did you really know, like, all right, this is something I could be good at? Was it somebody who kind of introduced you to it, or you just kind of fell upon it yourself?
To be honest, man, just being in Baltimore, it's all basketball. Excuse me, all basketball. Like we have other sports. You have got people that play football. You have football teams, and football is kind of, you know, big in Baltimore now. But you know, basketball is definitely the number one sport. Everybody's playing it. That's what you're doing year round. So, you know, moving there, it was, you know, kind of like, all right, let me do this to kind of make friends and really just to fit in. I was horrible though. I'm not even gonna lie. I was terrible. Couldn't walk and chew gum at the same time. And one of my AU coaches, Darrell Corbett, really took me on as a project. And what's crazy is he was Melo's AU coach too. And eventually, of course, our team was named Team Melo. But yeah, it just took me on and really just had me in the gym and working along with a bunch of other coaches. But you know, as far as one of the first ones I could say that could be like, you know, hey, you can go make some money playing this game. It was Coach Corbett.
So would you say what, 13, 14, 15 years old, that's when you really start to figure like,
When I
man,
really started to figure it out, I was more like 15, 16, really.
okay.
I was a late bloomer. I mean, I went to Charleston Catholic. That was like the only school that was the private school that was recruiting me outside of my public high school, my zone school. You know, everybody just didn't think I was that good. So, you know, getting to Charleston Catholic and just working, just grinding. Went from being unranked my freshman and mostly my sophomore year to the summer going to my junior year is when I really blew up. And I went from like unranked to like 15th in the country, like quit. It was crazy.
Was it like a certain camp or game or, you know, just a certain time where it clicked to be like, you know, to take you from, like you said, that freshman, sophomore year to when you really, now you on the stage, you're one of the best high school players in America? What clicked for you?
It was this summer going to Nike camp. You know, that year was it was a big year. It was, you know, KD was in the class ahead of me, so it was KD, Spencer Hawes, man, just a bunch of those guys in that 2006 class. And matter of fact, I think Paul was at ABCD. I think he went to ABCD that year. I was supposed to either go to ABCD or Nike, but I ended up going to Nike. And man, it just took off. I went there. I was undersized. I was like 6'6" at the time, 175 pounds, and they had me playing the 5 because that's the only way I could get into the camp was going into a center position. So I'm out there playing undersized and just young, but I'm just, you know, just out there just working, just having fun and got a couple looks. And then, you know, once we got on the AAU team, my AAU team had a really good summer. That's what really helped me. Myself, a guy named Malcolm Delaney that went to Virginia Tech, you know, MD.
Tough. Still doing it.
Still doing it over in Milan. Sean Mosley, who ended up going to the University of Maryland. We just put together a really good team, and I want to say I think we lost to Derrick Rose and them in the semifinal of the national championship game. But that's when the looks really started coming, and you know, it started working for me.
Was there like any extra pressure on you going into Townsend Catholic, knowing like that's where Melo went, and it kind of you coming up? They try. I know that you're gonna get those comparisons, like the next Melo coming up. Was there any? Did you feel that pressure or those expectations?
Nah, because to be honest, all that didn't come about until I committed to Syracuse. Because before that, you know, my favorite player was, you know, growing up was Tracy McGrady. That's who I love. You know, just a big forward that could really do it all. And you know, that's him and Kevin Garnett was like, my hybrid guys who I really kind of try to be like modern pattern my game after. And so yeah, about when Melo came about, I was, it was after I committed. And I was on my way, and all the stuff started coming out. Oh, he plays for Team Melo. Went to the same high school. From Baltimore going to Syracuse. So all that came about. But coming up when I was trying to get that scholarship and trying to really get good, Melo was just one of the best players ever come out of Baltimore and someone we looked up to. But it was never a comparison for me.
So before you commit to Cuse, you start, like you said, the hype starting to come about for you. What schools really did it come down to besides the Cuse before you chose Cuse?
Well, I think I had a top 5. It was Cuse, it was Georgetown, Miami, I think it was Texas and Kansas. I think Villanova was kind of in there too, but it was the top 2 for sure was Georgetown and Syracuse. Georgetown, not gonna lie, Georgetown was ahead of the Cuse for a while just because it was right there. It was close to home. Right down 295. My family and everybody could just always come to the games, and it would be easy. And they kind of got on me early just because I was in the area. But looking at what the Cuse had and how Coach Boeheim was as a coach, period, that's what really sold me on Cuse.
Let me tell you guys a little bit about our partners over at Bet Rivers Sportsbook. If you haven't signed up with Bet Rivers yet, now's the time, because they are offering a $250 match bonus for your first deposit. But what sets them apart is that they require just one playthrough to turn your bonus into cash money. With their new Rush Pay instant approval, withdrawing your winnings is safer, more secure, and more reliable. With basketball season right around the corner, there's never been a better time to get in on the action by going to betrivers.com today or downloading the Bet Rivers iOS app. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call telephone number 1-800-GAMBLER. So, I mean, yeah, talk about that class coming in too, man. Like that was, going back before then, one of the, best classes to come in. You got two McDonald's All-Americans, yourself and Johnny. You got Scoop and Rick coming in. I think you had the big Sean Williams. Am I right?
Big Sean, yeah, Sean, and then we brought in Christoph was the junior college transfer.
Right. So, I mean, just talk about coming into that first year, just those expectations. No, you were a McDonald's All-American. You're coming in with that class. How did you handle that? Did you want that? Is that what you expected?
Oh yeah, that's what that's what we had. That's what we talked about. I committed early, so I was coming up there hanging out with you guys, especially your freshman year. I was up there all the time. So, we talked about it, and it was like, we could really do something special. We felt like we had all the right pieces. It felt right. It felt like we was going to do something crazy, not necessarily, go out there. We weren't talking about, we're going to go win a national championship, but we knew we were going to be good. And we knew that, we were one of the top teams in the country.
So you coming in, everyone knows you coming in that summer, in them, sweaty dorms. But what was your, your first experience coming in with open gym? You know what I mean? Because look, I'm gonna name the guys we had coming in. Myself, Paul, you, Johnny, Rick, Scoop, AO, Christoph, and JT. But so like those open gyms can get hostile. You know what I mean? Like
it can get real. And what's crazy was, so me and Johnny was late. We had missed the summer because we had to go play with the USA team. Yeah. So we missed. I didn't get no summer workouts. I didn't get any summer school. Me and Johnny couldn't come up there and hang with you guys in the summer. So when we get there, we could feel the tension already just brewing from the summer. Like, not say tension, but just, like competitiveness. Like, right. Guys coming in, freshmen, Scoop and Rick want to come in and make a name for themselves. They've been there all summer working. Upperclassmen, you guys are there like, look, y'all good, but we here. You know what I'm saying? This us. Yeah. And then you had me and Johnny coming in like, all right, look, we just coming in from USA Basketball. We were playing over in Serbia for the whole summer. So it was just crazy. And on top of that, you still had guys like D Nick was still there. You still had Terrence Roberts there. Melo came in for a while and was in there. So man, just the open gym, it really wasn't even no need for like off-season workouts or conditioning because we was in there playing every day. And they had to really like put us off the court, like, all right, look, y'all can't come to the gym today, or y'all can't hoop. Like, y'all gotta calm down. You know, we gotta save something for the season type. But it was straight hoop, man. And we love the hoop. That's what we used to do. Just get in there and go at it, man.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, like back then we were always playing. Like I know kids, you got to get your drill work in and you want to go through all the offense, defense stuff, but you got to compete and get after it just to see where you at. Because you get in the game, you get knocked down, he hit you with a shoulder, he started talking to you. Now your whole mind frame is different. Now all the drills so you go out the window because he's talking to you different. You know what I mean? Exactly. I like, I don't know, nowadays I don't know if they do it as much. Just I guess in practices, like even when we were back playing, bro, like we were talking to each other, like we were competing,
sure.
and it wasn't it was a personal vendetta, nothing like that. It was like we're going hard and like we trying to, you know what I mean?
You'd be mad a little bit afterwards. It might take you a couple hours to calm down, but you know, at the end of the day, we all knew that we were just trying to get better. We were trying to get each other better. And that's what I tell kids these days, man. Like, get out there and really just play. Like, it's cool to have your trainer. It's cool to have, you know, your yoga instructor and all that. But at the end of the day, this is basketball, man. Like, you can do all the training in the world, but you have to have some type of experience before you get into the game. So that comes from having open gyms and having, you know, little scrimmage sessions or whatnot. And I tell kids, you know, even if it's 3-on-3, 4-on-4, like go out there and play. You know, you can do all the drills all day long, but you got to know when to use them and know how to use them in a game atmosphere. And that's where, you know, open gym comes in the play.
And when somebody get up in you, see what you built like. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Those feathers a little bit. How you gonna react?
Man, you gotta be tested. You gotta be war ready, and it starts in open gyms, man.
So let's talk about that first year because, like I mentioned earlier, you ended up leading the team in scoring, averaged almost 18 points, 8 rebounds. But so for me, you know, that team was so talented, and it ended up the year ended up being the NIT, but the potential was so much more because when I think about it, that summer Andy gets hurt, he tears his ACL. You know, one of the best shooters in the country, big time lead. 10 games in, we I think we're like 7-3, you know, but we're just kind of figuring stuff out, and you can see the talent and how, I mean, we're scoring over 100 points. And then
it was coming there. It was coming.
Yeah, that the game
you go down.
East Tennessee State, we beat them by like 30. We scored like 120. Second half, first play, I go down, tear my ACL. So the talent that we had, I just feel, you know, with Andy and myself, if we had added into kind of with that experience and that veteranship right there, like we would have been something.
I think we would have made a run. We would have made a run in the tournament just because, you know, with Andy going down as one of the best shooters in the country, that already was like going into the season. It's like, damn, like, you know, first of all, he's one of our leaders. He's an upperclassman. He's experienced, you know, on a whole nother level than all of us, just from him playing, you know, with Team Canada and all that, being in the Olympics and all that, or trying to get to the Olympics, wherever they were. But you know, just him going down was big because it put a lot of pressure on guys like yourself to be more of, you know, you got to fill that shooter role. Andy was a shooter. All right, now we got to find a shooter. All right, pressure goes on E. You go down, I got to be out, you know, I'm out there now shooting more than I would like, but I got to do it just to kind of keep, you know what I'm saying, defense is honest. And, you know, a lot of people didn't understand that. They're like, oh, you know, Green just wants to shoot. Bro.
Yeah,
Green just wants to shoot. And it's like, no, like you really got to understand like how our team was that year. I didn't come in expecting to be a shooter and shoot that many threes, but as far as our offense was concerned, that's what had to happen because nobody else out on the floor was going to, you know what I'm saying, was going to do that. We were running out of shooters, out of bodies and needed somebody to put it up. So I had to step into that role.
Man, I'm glad you said that too, because like you said, when sometimes people say, oh, he was just shoot, you got to understand we had to have somebody score the ball. Johnny had a lot on his plate. You know, he had the ball and it's coming down every play. So he had to make the decisions. and he was scoring
top of the two, Hope running the top of the 2-3.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
so
saying?
he had a lot on his plate, and you guys that's your first year. I don't care how good you are. You coming in your first year, you're going to have some ups and downs and some learning experiences. So,
right.
for you to come in and have all that on your plate, that's a lot. So you take away two guys who, who were potential first team all conference guys, and then that
For sure.
that changed the game. And if you ask Coach Boeheim, it changed the whole dynamic of the team. You know what I mean?
It did.
Even still with all that talent, with AO in the middle, that was tough, man. And then talk about the zone. I don't think people really know how long that takes to learn, and how I think much gameplay you have to have in it to really figure out, like, all right, I could cheat here, I could go here type thing. You know what I mean?
It's tough. People think, you just relaxing in the zone. And to be honest, I feel like the zone, you're kind of working more than man to man. Like, especially if you run it the way we're running it, like nobody in the country runs the 2-3 like we do. And I have coaches all the time to this day still telling me, like, man, Boeheim and that, you guys in that 2-3, man, that's tough. And I tell people, like, yeah, like, it's not easy. And that's why when I got to the league, it was like, oh, Syracuse dude, he don't play no defense. And I had to really go out there and show, like, hey, I can play defense. Like, we can play defense. It's harder to play the 2-3 than it is to play man to man, especially with our principles. But yeah, man, it didn't take, it didn't happen overnight as far as getting it down. Even I wouldn't say I didn't get the 2-3 down all the way, at least till like halfway through the season. Like maybe like right when we started like Big East play, I may have it down a little bit better. But yeah, man, that 2-3 is it's not easy. It's not at all. And especially me as a freshman coming in, I'm down there in the real Big East. We was the real Big East at that time. So it was grown men down there, and I had to really work and get myself ready for all that.
Yeah, and let's talk about that for a minute, like, because you as a freshman, again, McDonald's All-American, all the accolades, but still being thrown in that fire as a freshman, just like we talked in the Big East. People don't know how competitive that Big East was, that real Big East. It was, the depth was from top to bottom. Everybody was competing.
Top to bottom. And
like,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, at what moment for you during the season was like, did you start to feel where the transition was a little bit more comfortable for you?
I think it was maybe like halfway through the Big East schedule, because non-conference was cool. It was our non-conference, because our conference is so tough. Like, our non-conference is kind of like just like, all right, let's just get the team. It's more about, like coming out and trying to build chemistry, because once you step foot in that Big East, it's real, man. And we'll have Marquette on a Tuesday or Wednesday, UConn on a Saturday, Georgetown on Wednesday. It's just the schedule. It's like it's really at that time it was no breathing room for any type of break. Like, oh, this is gonna be a slouch game. Like, man, everybody was coming at everybody, and I still think that we got robbed that year for not making the tournament. I think that year they took 7 Big East teams, and they usually take 8. I think we were the 8th seed. But yeah, man, it's just coming from high school to the Big East. It's not. You can't just go off your talent. You know what I'm saying? You gotta really work. I shout out to Ryan Kabilis, because I never used to get into the weight room before, and even still my freshman year, I didn't get it that much, but we did things and we worked to definitely help my body get right. But that work we did, if I didn't do that, I definitely wouldn't have been ready to get out there and play.
What was that year like playing for Coach Boeheim? What type of freedom do you think he gives his players, and what was that overall season experience like for you?
I tell guys all the time, I say, Boeheim recruits you for the player you are. He's not trying to change your game. He's not trying to bring you in and, tell you a bunch of lies in the beginning. And then when you get there, it's totally different. Like, how he recruits you is how he wants you, and he just wants you to become a better player and just go out there and hoop, man. Just have fun. Like, it's not a bunch of X's and O's. You just gotta go out there. You just gotta play hard, man, and hoop. Do what you do.
I tell people that all the time. Like, what's so special about it? Man, first of all, he just let his players go and hoop, man. It's
Hoop,
simple.
yeah.
One play, come down, pass it, come back off the curls. Two play, pass it to the wing, cut. Like, it's simple, bro. It's just like he give his players space, and then he give his players confidence to play. Like, if you
And you
miss a
gotta
shot,
create off what he give, whatever he give you, you gotta create off that. That's when
exactly.
the team chemistry come into it.
And then, like, as a player, when you have that type of freedom just to be able to make your own decisions, make your own reads. We basketball players, we know how to play the game. Now that confidence from coaches, coming into you, because he's giving you that freedom to just to play. And if you make a mistake, not really worried about it. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Yeah, that's I tell that, I tell that all the guys, man. Like, keep it simple, man. You
Keep it simple. We don't got
basketball ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, how do I get better? Be in the gym every single day.
Yeah.
In the gym every single day, work on your game. Yeah, you want to work on specific areas of your game, but like even today, say I work out these kids, and they, you come once or twice a week, and I just tell them, I said, you can come once or twice a week, but all the stuff that you learn here, you got to be able to take and do it on your own. Like, guys like yourself and me and other guys who played at that level. You played at the highest level in the NBA. Man, that didn't happen by accident. You feel what I'm saying? So, like, what would you say to, like, kids, who want to play college ball, who want to play NBA? Like, what do they need to do?
First, you gotta really love it. Like, it's cool to to kind of do it for the likes or for the attention that you might get, but to really make it far and to really, what I'm saying, to really be somebody, you gotta really love the game, and you gotta really be a student of the game. Like, even still, I tell the kids all the time, even still to this day, I'm 30 years old. This is 33 years old, excuse me. Going on my 14th year professionally. I'm still learning. Like, there's still things that I'm learning about the game. And just being a student of the game, I think, is what has helped me continue to have my career and just be blessed to be in the situation that I am in. Because there's plenty of other guys who who aren't hooping or who who were better than me and things didn't work out as well as they should have. But you got to really love the game. You got to really be a student of the game and be willing to sacrifice a lot, man, because it's a lot of sacrifice that goes into into this game, man, into this life.
Yeah, sacrifice meaning you can't hang out, go to the parties, go to all the little dances that your friends.
Can't
Sometimes
hang out. You missing this. You missing that. I remember my senior year being upset. I missed so much stuff my senior year because of Jordan game or McDonald's or this and that. I almost didn't make it to my prom. I almost didn't make it to my graduation. Little things like that. So, but in the long run, looking back on it, it was worth it. But it was a lot of sacrifices that I had to make to get where I wanted to be.
Division I athletes, professional athletes, kids who want to be that, you just got to know sacrifice got to be made. Like, it's not going to be a regular childhood. You're going to miss Thanksgiving. You're going to miss Christmases. How many? Bro, I was in college. I missed every single Thanksgiving and Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just.
For sure.
Those are the things
I missed. That's right. You being from Detroit, yeah. That was, from Saginaw, yeah. That's
Bay
tough.
City.
Bay City, my bad. Bay City.
Hey, look, I spent time in all those places, though.
I'm about to say, all y'all, we consider all y'all family up there. That's y'all little crew, the whole Michigan crew, that little area up there. Y'all tight, but yeah, Bay City. But yeah, I didn't miss Christmas when I was at Cuse. We drove down. I think we played on like the 23rd. I think I drove down, but we had to be back like the day after Christmas. Right. I was only home for like 2 days, so definitely missed Thanksgiving. New Year's we was up on Slocum, up on Winding Ridge.
Yeah.
So it's a lot, man. You got to give up, but I mean, if you that's why I say you got to really love it. If you really love it, yeah, you'd be a little upset about it, but at the end of the day, you're doing something that you love and it's worth it.
Yeah, you got to have a little bit of obsession.
You do. You really do.
That's a fact. So, okay, we talk about the 1 year you spent at Cuse, led the team in scoring, 18 and 8. First freshman since Melo. I think you hit almost 80 3-pointers. That was like fourth all time. as a freshman in Syracuse history. Then you leave, you get drafted first round by Memphis. You end up in Sacramento. How hard was that decision to leave? Was like, did you already know? Or was it like after the season, you kind of had to sit back and be like, take a little bit?
To be honest, man, that decision was probably one of the hardest decisions I ever made. Just because of the back and forth, man. Like when initially, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna come back. We're gonna rock out. We're gonna do this again next year. But as time went on, and I ended up just sending my name off to see what you draft process is. You send your name to the NBA, and they come back and tell you, they do a poll with all the teams, I guess 30 teams, and they send you the information back, and they say, hey, this is where you're likely to be drafted. So, of course, I'm not knowing where I'm going to be drafted at. Information comes back. It's like, all right, look, you're mid to late first round, guaranteed. So with that, it's like, man, my dream was playing NBA. You go to college, if you're a regular student, to get a job. And this is what I tell people all the time. I know it kind of hurt a lot of people, but at the end of the day, my dream was to play in the NBA. My dream was to take care of my family and to be able to do that. And in the process, I end up, finding out that I had Lil Tay on the way. So it was a lot to consider as far as like going back to school or going to the league. And, if I would go back and do it all, if I could go back and do it all over again, I would definitely make the same decision.
Yeah, and that's really it. That's all there is to it, bro. Like, you had to do what's best for you and your family. Like, we all know how Cuse is, bro. We know how Cuse Nation gets. Like,
die hard, baby. I love them.
Yeah, and we love it. Die hard. It's like it's like an attachment. So when you leave, when you bring so many memories and so much joy to people and families, and then kind of get up and leave. I guess after 1 year it's in people's minds, Cuse fans' mind, it's quick, it's too quick. But you gotta understand, I'm doing this for me and mine. And that and like you said, this is going back to everything we talked about, bro. All the sacrifice we made growing up as a kid. We not having a regular childhood. We traveling around, and especially for you, bro. Like you born in Germany, in Japan, in Guam, like all those different experiences. Those are sacrifices in itself. Like, you didn't have a normal childhood by any standards. You know what I'm saying? So for you to have all those sacrifices, put in the work, get to Baltimore, learning the game, getting better. Now you go to college and get an opportunity to change your life, change your family's life. That's a no-brainer, man. And at the end of the day, people could be salty. They're going whatever, but man, you got to understand that.
Yeah, no, and I took that. I held that on that chip on my shoulder for a while. Just even going into my summer league. Upset with how far I fell in the draft. Went 28th, was projected anywhere between 14 to 20 right before the draft. So slipping that far and being kind of unsure about my decision. Damn, should I have went back to school? Did I make the right decision? And just being upset. And I remember getting to summer league and just taking it all out in summer league. I had a great summer league and just went on from there.
So you in the NBA now, you with Sacramento. Now let's talk about the transition from college to the NBA, because now it's a business. You know what I mean? So it's not really like in college, a lot of stuff already, taken care of for you. You know what I mean? You kind of not babysit, but they're gonna make sure you get where you need to be. In the NBA, it's more of a you on your own. You young, you 19 years old. You know what I'm saying? So you thrown into the fire. What were some of the things that you struggled with early on, and you could do on or off the court? And then who was some of the people that really helped you through those times and helped you as you forwarded your career in the league?
Well, first, just on draft night, man, I was drafted by Memphis and traded right away to Houston. It's like they already had their mind made up, which was crazy. I didn't understand because Houston had the 25th pick. So I'm like, dang, well, if you trade me automatically, I don't know, it was some NBA stuff. But dealing with that early on, And then getting the summer league. Happy to be in Houston. That was a playoff team. They had great vets like Shane Battier, T Mac.
T Mac, your favorite player?
Exactly. I was there. My favorite player. Got the chance to talk to him before summer league. But so go out to summer league, and it's almost like I shot myself in the foot as far as getting traded to Sacramento, because I went out in summer league and I played so well. I was basically summer league MVP. I think I averaged like 27, 28 points during summer league, and just was just happy. I was out there just doing what I love in the league. And then of course the business side of it rolled around again after summer league, and ended up getting traded from Houston to Sacramento for Ron Artest. So that was a whirlwind, and then going through that whole first year, ups and downs, not really playing, going to the G League. And what's crazy is I asked the team, I was begging the team because I wasn't playing. Like, oh, can y'all just send me to the G League and let me go down there and hoop? And what's crazy is that on the G League team was G-Mac. It was me, G-Mac, Damone Brown was on the team.
Wow.
So, I had my Cuse guys with me, and I was there for like 2.5 weeks. And we won every game, was just hooping. And I was having fun. I really thought if I stayed that we was gonna win that it was called the D League at the time, the D League championship for sure. But just being down there with them, being able to hoop a little bit, but then going back up to Sacramento and was just losing. That first year in the league, it felt like it took 2 years off my life. Like it was 81 games, that we got to play. So all them games, and then on top of that, I'm losing for the first time in my career. I've always won from high school to AAU, even college. We didn't make it to the tournament, but we were still winning. We were a good team. So being in Sacramento was just tough, and I wasn't playing. So that was hard on me. And as far as who was there in my corner, of course, my guy Rob Murphy. He was always there to talk and be like, just hang in there, just keep working. Of course, my family, my friends, my cousin Quentin had moved to Sacramento with me, so we were all out there. But it was just tough, man. But as time went on, my second year, I ended up starting 60 games. Got to play a little bit more, and just every year, it got better for me.
Who's the one guy in the league that you guard and you was like, man, goddamn, I ain't got nothing for this, man?
No, to be honest, what's crazy is, so like I told you, like everybody tried to say that Syracuse guys don't play defense. So that's the only way, like that's one of the ways I was able to get on the court, because I proved, in practice, playing against, John Simons, Francisco Garcia, Kevin Martin. Buckets. Proving myself against them and showing like, hey, we Syracuse guys, but we can play defense. We can lock up when we need to lock up. So getting out there, and the first time I ran across Chris Bosh in Toronto. Now I done played everybody from, Melo, KD, Bron. They had me playing Steve Nash before, KG, Dirk, everybody. Chris, I tell this all the time, Chris Bosh in Toronto was a problem. We played the first time in Toronto. I think he had 37. I might have got 34 of them 37 buckets. Like right hook. Mind you, he's left-handed. Right hook, left hook, jab, jump shot, off the dribble, spin, right hook. Like I'm talking about total package. I'm just out there. Dang, like it was nothing that I could do between him and the young D Wade, because he could just run 100 miles an hour and change directions. Those guys were, tough. Of course, you got your Kobe's, and your elite scorers, Kobe's and KD's, who you just try to contain them. You just hope that, all right, it's not really no shutting them down. Try to play good defense and hope they miss, have an off night. But Chris Bosh was like, he was really like a problem. I don't know if he did his best thing going to Miami, but in Toronto, he was that deal, man. I tell people all the time, he was special, man. Special.
Man, he was probably the greatest player Toronto ever had. I mean, I guess I guess Kawhi, right? I mean, but he spent more
Yeah, you
time.
got Kawhi now. Yeah, you got Kawhi there. I mean, of
And
course,
then
you know Kawhi
DeMar,
went.
those three.
Yeah, those are the top for sure. Top. I mean, you got throw Vince in there too
Oh,
for
right,
for,
right.
for
I'm
Vince.
tripping, right, Vince.
Yeah, but man, nah, he was a problem, man. That was somebody who, yeah, like you couldn't, because you know some people, yeah, have we all, you know, send them left, send them right. Um, you know, if he's driving left, he's going to shoot the jumper. Or if he's driving right, he's going to go all the way. With him, if he gonna go left, he might pull up. He might keep going. If he's going right, he might pull up. He might, you know, he was just tough to guard, man. It was crazy.
He had all that.
All that, all of it.
So you've been playing pro ball since 2008. You played in the
Mm-hmm.
NBA, played in the G League or D League back then, but been to all type of different countries: Lebanon, Middle East, Philippines, China, Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, you're going to Taiwan. What's one thing you really took from all those experiences and something that you keep with you now to where it could really humble you and make you grateful for everything?
Well, really, you know, overseas, man, you just really got to play hard. Play hard. You know, when you overseas, you're the guy. You know, they look to you for everything. So, you know, when I got overseas, it was more of a, you know, getting back to high school AAU days, just going out there and like really like, you know, being a man and playing hard, making sure you picking your teammates up on both ends of the floor, offensively and defensively, and uh and just having fun, you know. I will say it's tough to play overseas. Of course, you know, you wait from your family. I was spoiled to be able to come out and, you know, spend my 5 years in NBA and be in the country. But you know, going overseas was, especially my first year. I went to China, and you know, China is only 5 months, season 5 months long. I felt like I was gone for like a year and a half. Like I felt like I missed everything. And we ended up going like all the way to the semifinals. So I was there like, I think I got there in September. I didn't get home till like March. I felt like it was the longest contract ever. But you know, over the years, you've gotten used to it, and you know, my kids have been able to come overseas and visit some amazing countries too. So you know, it's been a blessing, man.
And I think especially for you, bro, 5 years in NBA, how the travel, you're used to a certain type of way. Now you go overseas to China, even though China, you some bread over there. But
Oh
as you
yeah,
go through the different countries, the travel different. You know, you
it's
playing in
different.
different type of rent. Was that kind of like a shock at first to you? Did it took a little bit of adjustment time?
You know what? It hit me when I went to the first time when I went to Puerto Rico, and that's when it hit me like, dang, dog, like I'm used to playing in 17,000 seat arena. You know, even kids, we get 33,000 for a game. I'm going to a 5,000 seat arena with no AC. Like we basically outside. Like it was it was definitely different. It was definitely different. But at the same time, you know, you still doing what you love. You know, you still getting paid well, and you know, you providing for your family. So it was tough in the beginning, not gonna lie. But you know, now knowing where to go, knowing how to move, knowing what situation would best fit me is what has helped me over the years.
And I think we just going back to, you know, all of this, what we're talking about, you know, you have to have that obsession, you have to have that love, like we talked about in the beginning, because to be able to make all these sacrifices, you know, play in these type of environments, you know, being without our family, you got to really
Mhm.
love the game. So like everything that we're saying, we're just giving these kids little tidbits to what you're going to go through, what you're going to experience if you want to be a high level athlete. If you're going to have to deal with some of these things, it's not going to be all glitter and gold. I mean, how many Michael Jordans, how many LeBron James are out there? Not a lot. Like you're not
Not a
gonna.
lot.
A lot of people's careers are gonna be like this. But what you just said at the end, you got to take care of your family. You got
Hmm.
to experience different cultures. You got to travel the world playing ball, getting paid for it. Not a lot of people do that. Not a lot of people, and you know, not a lot of people get to leave the block. Like get to leave this,
Facts.
get to leave the
Facts.
state. You got to see a whole different, and you're different. Like we said, you're different because you did that right away when you were born. But to be able to do
Hmm.
that as a grown man and experience that, like that's the perspective you got to have
For
if you
sure.
want to really enjoy. your time being overseas.
Just be blessed, man. Just don't I look at it like I tell people that all the time, like people like, oh, you always happy, you always smiling and da da da. I mean, I go through what I go through I have my ups and downs, but at the end of the day, you gotta look at it as things could be worse. You could not I could not have the ability to play basketball. I could have something wrong with me where I had to stop playing basketball, or this and that. It could always be worse. So you just gotta look at it and just be positive and keep moving forward, man. Keep working.
That's a fact. That's 100%. So what's your take on the NIL, bro? Now these kids is getting paid. Back then,
where was this at in 2008, dog?
That's so look, what would it have been like if we were allowed to get paid back then? How much would you be getting paid?
We would have all had crazy whips. We would have, Coach Kyle wouldn't have had nothing on Boeheim. I tell you that right now. The way Syracuse, I know the way the community would have came about, man. We would have had commercials. We was always already all over the place in Syracuse, from going out to eat, doing stuff in the town. But yeah, man, I'm just happy it finally came. And the kids definitely deserve it nowadays. And hopefully my boys and my daughter go and take advantage of that. Get that free education and get some money in their pockets at the same time. And I think it's dope. I don't like some of the guys a lot of people. The older guys, I think they're hating on it just because they couldn't have that opportunity. But times are changing, man. You can't. You just gotta want better for people, and the kids are. It's time for it. It's time for it. I'm glad this came about.
It's definitely time for it, man. If you don't go get away, man, this cat, man. Oh, we're gonna edit it out. Put me out at me, man. No, I think I think it's great, bro. The NIL. I think not only is it giving kids, some extra money in their pocket or whatever, but now they kind of learning the game after you get out of school. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
It's a business in
preparing them for what's going on at their school. Because people don't know, like, yeah, you on for a scholarship, but man, it's tough. Like, I'm not gonna. I was blessed enough that my mom's had set aside things for me to be able to be taken care of while I was in school. But man, I saw my guys, I was always like, yo, what we doing? We gonna get something to eat, let's do this, let's do that. Like, it's not everybody don't have that luxury, and it's tough, man, being a student athlete, especially back in the day when we was there and waiting on that check or waiting on that little bit of meal money they got for us. So yeah, I'm definitely happy for them.
Yeah, that's a fact. All right, last question, bro, and I'm gonna let you get up out of here. I don't know how much you've been following Cuse. I know this year you see they got the Boeheim brothers together, Jimmy and Buddy. Obviously, Coach is back for a 89th year.
Crazy.
Facts, man. That's unreal. And then they got a lot of good transfers coming in, and they got some young talents. What do you think they're gonna do this year? What are your expectations?
I just want to see them go far, man. To be honest, I just want them to win it all. I always tell that we get a little pool together, and I'm always the guy. Hey, look, this is our year, baby. Chip, national chip. We're gonna get another one this year. I'm always saying it, but nah, just want to see them win. You always want to see see us do well. And I got one of the young guys, Benny Williams is I think that's name Williams. He's from down here in the area. He's
gonna be good, bro.
Yeah, I met him a few times. We actually ended up playing one-on-one too a couple of times, but he was younger, and yeah, I think he's gonna be good. He's gonna be something special. And we bleed orange over here, so I'm always rooting for my guys.
That's a fact. I think we're gonna be all right, bro. Defensively, and then rebounding, I think we gotta make sure we're consistent with those things. Offensively, we got some shooters. We're gonna be able to score.
Just keep everybody healthy too, man. We gotta stay healthy.
Because last year, I think we'll be fine. Last year with COVID, it was like, and I'm gonna tell you this, bro. As athletes, we have our routine, right?
Mm-hmm.
When our routine is disrupted, or it can kind of mess it up. So like COVID, it messed up a lot of people last year. I think this year it'll be totally different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, nah, for sure. So just make sure them guys stay safe, stay healthy, man.
That's a fact. Well, man, I appreciate you coming on, bro. It's always love, and we're gonna get you on later down the road in the season.
My guy, appreciate it, bro.